Hi friends, my name is Sophie. Welcome to my English classroom. I live in Philadelphia in the state of Pennsylvania in the United States. In addition to teaching English, I really enjoy learning other languages. I speak Portuguese and a little bit of Polish. I studied linguistics and education in college and have been teaching language arts to middle schoolers for the past 4 years. I also have a lot of experience teaching both children and adults English. So wherever you're at in your English ability, I'll be able to help you get to the next level. Today, I'd like to present a short lesson about subject and object pronouns. So pronouns are a part of speech or a type of word. So in English, we have other categories like verbs and nouns and adjectives. Pronouns is another category of word. Pronouns take the place of nouns, so I consider them like the substitutes or the stunt doubles in English. So let's look at an example. In this first sentence here, it says Mark eats pizza. Mark is a name. Mark is a noun. So we can take it out and substitute it with this pronoun he. He eats pizza. I'm going to tell you a little story about a friend of mine, Sarah. Sarah and I have been friends for 8 years. Sarah and I met in college. Sarah lives in Pittsburgh, and when I go to Pittsburgh, I visit Sarah. Sarah is a social worker and enjoys playing the guitar. So you'll notice in my story about my friend, I repeated her name over and over again. And to a native English speaker, this sounds a little strange and unnatural. So it's better to use pronouns to replace Sarah's name after the first time I say it. So I'll repeat my story. Sarah and I have been friends for 8 years. She lives in Pittsburgh, and when I go there, I visit her. She is a social worker and enjoys singing and playing the guitar. So you'll notice in that second version, I just said her name once at the beginning, and then I use pronouns. And I use two different pronouns. I use she and her. So these are examples of a subject pronoun and an object pronoun. So I have a list here of different subject and object pronouns. In first person singular, we have I or me. Sometimes they stay the same. Second person singular, we have you or you. In third person singular, we have 3 types, masculine, feminine, and neuter. So it could be he or him, she or her, or it, which stays the same, it. First person plural is either we or us. Second person plural, just like in singular, you stays the same. And third person plural, they or them. So when do we use each one? How do we know? So I want to talk briefly about that. So there are subject and object pronouns, and we know when to use each one depending on how and where it's used in the sentence. So a hint is that subject pronouns are usually found at the beginning of the sentence, and they refer to the main idea or main person in the sentence. So I could say Sarah is a social worker, or I could say she is a social worker. And I'm using she, my subject pronoun, because it's at the beginning of the sentence and it refers to the main person or idea in the sentence, Sarah. On the other hand, we have object pronouns. These are frequently used towards the end of the sentence and are usually after a verb or a preposition. Here, we're going to add another person in. Let's call her Mary. Sarah hugged Mary. We can take out Mary and replace it with her. Sarah hugged her. So notice that we use the object pronoun here because it comes after a verb, hugged. It's an action, something we can do. In our second example, Sarah went to the beach with Mary. We'll take out Mary and put her. Sarah went to the beach with her. Her comes after this preposition. So prepositions are words that show a relationship or a position, like in, or near, with, and that is why we use an object pronoun here. It's also towards the end of the sentence. So I'm going to read a few sentences and give you a chance to fill in the blank with either the subject or the object pronoun. So I will read the sentence and then I'll pause and give you hands so that you can fill it in. The first sentence goes, Bob and Sarah are friends. Bob goes to school with, what is your answer? It should be her. Bob and Sarah are friends. Bob goes to school with her. So in this sentence, the pronoun comes after with, which is a preposition, and it's towards the end of the sentence. So we want to use the object pronoun. Let's do another example. My mom loves the color red, wears it every day. What is your answer? She. So notice in this example, there were two sentences. My mom loves the color red, and she wears it every day. So in that second sentence, she is at the beginning of the sentence, and she is the main person in that sentence. So that's why I use the subject pronoun. So let's do one more example. The mosquito bit on the arm. It bit my arm. So me. The mosquito bit me on the arm. So notice in this sentence that me comes after a verb. So it's the object of the verb, and we want to use the object pronoun. So thank you for joining me to learn about subject and object pronouns. I enjoyed teaching you and hope to get a chance to do that again soon. Have a great day.